Scrawlrbox, Scrawlrbox, it's time for a Scrawlrbox. Hi everybody, it's Christy back with another video, and we have another Scrawlrbox unboxing today. We are going to look at the May 2022 Scrawlrbox, and yes, you can see, spoiler alert, it's already open because I didn't think about it and was sitting on my couch opening mail, and whenever I was opening the mail, I accidentally opened this. So I already know what's inside, but it's a pretty cool looking box. Let's show you guys what's in the box. Dun dun dun. Hello. There we go. Okay, so this is what was in the box. We have Peerless Watercolors, a Scrawlrbox exclusive palette. Nicholson, I think it's Nicholson's. I think that's the company. It doesn't say on there. But there's I haven't opened these yet. I had these in a sketch box one time, so we'll see. I wasn't completely in love with them from Sketchbox, but the set I got, the colors were weird. This seems like a more balanced color palette. We have a Bruynzeel kneadable eraser. I got a yellow one, which is super fun. Very excited for that. We have a pencil. It is a Pentel Side FX 0.5 mechanical pencil. It is a beautiful looking mechanical pencil with a nice gripper. I have been in the market for a new mechanical pencil, so maybe this will be the one that will be my new love. We'll find out. We have a candy. The candy was kind of stuck to the paper, but I don't think it's been compromised. I don't always eat the candies anyway, but it's nice that they give you candies. We have a really pretty sticker. We'll find the artwork in a minute that goes with the sticker. A Scrawlrbox. It looks like a cat's tongue brush. It's called a custom angled brush, but it looks like a cat's tongue brush, which I'll tell you guys, it's one of my favorite shapes for a watercolor brush. There's a whole lot you can do. It looks like it has a nice point on it. We'll see what happens once we play with it a little bit and see how it holds together. It's from the company Zahn. We have had Zahn paintbrushes before and they haven't been a little disappointing, so I'm hoping that this one is better. What's in here? We've got the zine. Ooh, look at this artwork. Very cool. All right, well, if this is the kind of color palette we're working with today for these watercolor sheets, that's going to be really exciting. Let's see who this artist is. Alicia Yetzer. I probably pronounced that completely wrong, but there is where you can find Alicia, YouTube and Instagram, and they have their own website. They are from rural Pennsylvania. Oh, it says, I love reading, playing video games with my family, and soaking up the quietness of life in rural Pennsylvania. That sounds like me. That sounds like exactly the things I love to do. And it says, most of my childhood was spent in Southern California. So cool. That's really, really neat. I look forward to looking you up because your artwork is super beautiful. Love your style. And yeah, that's really neat. I'm glad that this is the person that's doing this box. And then we have A5 watercolor paper. I think it's at hot press. Yeah, it's hot press, which is good. I like hot press paper. Again, I don't have any hard evidence to this, but I do feel like Scrawlrbox has been partnering for a while with Clairefontaine. So I think all of their exclusive paper is coming from Clairefontaine. I can't say that for sure. It's just that's what it feels like when I feel the papers versus my Clairefontaine papers. If that's the case, that's great because Clairefontaine sells amazing paper and I can't get it easily in the United States. So here we go. Here's what we have. I'm actually going to swatch out twice. I'm going to swatch on here and I'm going to swatch in my swatch book that I have been using to test against supplies lately because that has been a really good way for me to test stuff. Let me go ahead and just open these and see what colors we have going on in here because the palette looks pretty rich. We have Arlie's Opera, so it's kind of like an opera pink. It says Jaquamino Red, Alizarin Red, Alice blue. I wonder what side. Oh my goodness. It looks like it's already coming off of my fingers. Turquoise blue. I think this is the side that you're supposed to do this on. Peacock blue. Mountain green. Heliotrope. Ecru. I don't know how to speak today, guys. Gamboge yellow. See, like, that's really interesting how it's crystallized on there. Gamboge yellow. Bismarck brown. And neutral tint. Neutral tint, which is a pretty common color. So these feel like a nice set of colors. My biggest thing with this is just like it's messy. It's messy and it's not compact and it's already on my hands. And I'm already not a fan of that. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes today. Let's go ahead and get to swatching. let's talk about this box. Let's talk about, was it worth it? First of all, I had a lot of fun making this piece of art. The ScrawlrChallenge is flowing figures right there for May. And, you know, I don't draw people so much. Not really my thing. And so, because I'm not going to draw a person, I immediately thought of jellyfish. And sometimes when I'm testing out a new art supply, I like to do something that I know kind of how it should work. And so I did a jellyfish. I actually really like the jellyfish, how it turned out. I think it looks super cool and is definitely flowing. You can see kind of how it's moving. And so, yeah, I love the cap. I think the cap is my favorite part of how it turned out. Like, just a neat amount of detail and white space. So, really happy with how that turned out. Let's talk about the pros and cons of this box, because this box is a head scratcher for me. Full disclosure, this is a Princeton snap brush. It was not a part of the box, but I really liked how this piece was going, and so I wasn't going to sacrifice the piece because I'm heavy-handed and I know that this little tip was not going to create the thin lines that I wanted, so I brought in an extra brush. If you want to say I didn't do the challenge, then that's fine. You can leave an angry comment below. Anyhow, so here is what we have. Let's talk about each thing. Let's start with paper. The paper was good. It's definitely cellulose paper, but for cellulose paper, I think it turned out really good. And it held water well. It didn't bloom too badly, although areas where I had big puddles, it bloomed, but it ended up being able to be blended out pretty well. That was partly because the watercolors are like, they lift like crazy. So lifting them when they were in a spot that I didn't like worked out just fine. The pencil is really nice. I have been in the market for a nice mechanical pencil to draw with, and I love this pencil. I am very excited to have it. It is not one that would be easy for me to get here in the US right now. It's kind of hard to find. So this was a really good Scrawlrbox find. And this brush, while I think it was not a good choice for this box, and I told you earlier that like I've had Zahn brushes before that weren't great, this brush is actually phenomenal for a certain purpose. And we're going to talk about why that purpose was not this box in a minute. But it is a really good brush. It doesn't hold a lot of water, and that was kind of tricky with what we had to do here. But the shape of it and the way that it holds its form, I am probably going to use this a whole lot. I'm excited to try it on some landscapes. It was a really nice brush. Thank you, Scrawlrbox, for the brush. I did not open the Kneaded eraser because it's a Kneaded eraser, and I just collect the ones that I don't use right now, and then I will eventually get to them, is my theory on these. But I'm sure it's good. I mean, Bruynzeel makes good stuff. It's a Kneaded eraser. I was good with that. All right, let's talk about these watercolors. So this is why I'm torn. The pigment payout is great. The pigment payout is really awesome. Here, let me show you the swatches. I did 2 different swatches. So I swatched on the paper, and I was playing here, you can see. And when I swatched on the paper, they swatched really well. They swatched, so I'm going to bring up right now, they swatched a lot like the Viviva watercolor sheets. And we're going to talk about Viviva a whole lot in the next few minutes. So there's a real big comparison here to Viviva and why I prefer one over the other. So these lift a lot like Viviva. They seem to act like a lot like Viviva. This was a good color selection. We got these Peerless watercolors in a holiday sketch box, and the color selection was weird. It was supposed to be a portrait set, but like it wasn't really. I don't know. I did not care for that color selection at all. This is a much better color selection. I did mix a few colors. I didn't use a ton of colors. I think I used 4 colors. I think I used this color, this color, this color, and this color. That was it for the piece. But I could use all of the colors. They are really good. They mix together nicely if you have a palette. So that was one thing. I wanted to swatch these on watercolor paper I was a little more familiar with, just to see what they would look like. And with a little more space to kind of see pigment payout. So what I did for each of these, and I didn't tape this, I don't think I taped the swatching of this. I might be wrong. You will know already if I'm wrong. But I basically really swatched with pigment for the first third. And then the next third, I just dipped the brush in water and didn't really wipe it at all. And did that third. And then the last third was just getting down to a watered brush and dragging it out. So the payout for the pigment is really good. It lifts. It's not like a traditional watercolor, but the pigment payout is good. And with this brush, I was able to make a pretty rose. So like I was just playing here to see what could happen. So why do I sound hesitant, excuse me, about all of this? It's because of the delivery. I mean, first of all, as soon as I picked these up and laid them out, like my hands work. I'm not going to do it even right now. I'm not going to touch them because if I do, they're going to get all over my hands and I don't want dirty hands at the moment. It says in here that these are like good for travel. I do not understand how somebody would travel paint with these. So here's why Viviva is the comparison. They work a lot like Viviva watercolor sheets. They feel like Viviva. They even act and look like Viviva. Like the purple pigment has like a yellow sheen, and this one looks very similar to a Viviva color that I have. And I don't dislike the Viviva watercolor sheets, but what's great about them is that they have a great delivery. They are in a little book. You can flip that book open, turn to the page you want. There's mixing space. You could set them out like this and just flip them around, but they actually do travel really nicely. I keep a ton of Viviva paints in my travel stuff. But with these, I mean, I just don't see how I'm going to use them. I don't think I'm ever going to get them out again because of that. And so let's talk prices. This box was definitely worth it. Here's what I'll say. Scrawlrbox, it was the pricing was there. I think this brush is a high quality good brush. I think this is something that I would be unable to get in the US very easily, so I'm excited to play with it. The Kneaded eraser is kind of a throwaway, but I don't mind it. These are technically worth it because they're hard to come by, but I don't want them. But that's part of getting a subscription box, is learning things you want and don't want. So now I know that I am not going to invest in these as a product anymore, and I might even sell the ones that I have here because I don't particularly want them. But let's talk pricing. So the Scrawlrbox price would have been $30.03 by their standards. By my standards, because I can't easily get this. So this angled brush, I mean, the best I can do to match the quality, in my opinion, of this brush is a $9 brush. That was I think a Princeton Select, I think I found, that I liked. But yeah, I mean, that brush is quality. I like it. I don't think it was the right choice for this box. Oh, that's one other thing. So like, because you can't hold a lot of water in here and you're supposed to water these down, do you have any idea how like annoying it is? You're picking up a lot of pigment because it's a flat brush, and then you're having to like dip and dip and dip and dip to get anything down to a less, like, a more diluted pigment. And even then, I was throwing a ton of water at this because I wanted to dilute it, and it was just really hard to dilute. But that is similar to Viviva. So here's what I said about the Peerless watercolor sheets. The cheapest I can find a set of 12 is $30. Don't pay $30. Buy a $20 set of Viviva. You get 16 colors. You get a smaller piece of this. But in reality, again, it's all about the delivery. I would have done with a third as much of these sheets, because look how much I used, for something that delivered them well. And they have travel palettes on their website. So I feel like if they wanted to showcase these in a Scrawlrbox, that would have been a really nice thing for them to do and be like, oh, look, here is a set of them, and you can test every color, and then here's the delivery system, so if you want to buy more, here they are. So I like the Viviva better. I also think that this palette would have been really fun to have a metallic. Viviva has palettes that have a few metallics, so again, I think with my jellyfish, it would have been cool to have some metallics, but in general, even with that, even if you spent $20 on the Viviva, like what I would call substitute for this, it would have been $36.66. It's $46 with the actual Peerless watercolor sheets. If they're your thing, I mean, this is a great value of a box. I still think it was worth it. Like I said, I learned something and I had fun making this piece. But overall, I would not buy these products again. That doesn't mean that Scrawlrbox didn't do a good job putting this together. It just means they're not for me. Maybe they were for you. If you liked them, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. Otherwise, I do think that in the future, this does make me want to play with my Viviva watercolor sheets a little bit more and explore like how far I can take those. I have a bunch of them swatched out, and I was going to maybe do a video on those. So let me know, are you interested in a video where we talk just about Viviva? And yeah, so that's it. Here is my piece. I hope you like it. It's just a little flowy jellyfish. Thank you, Scrawlrbox, for always giving me something fun to do every month. I look forward to it so very much. And that's going to be it for me today. I hope that this inspires you to create some artsy bits yourself. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.